What's happening, body bags? This is Austin here. Welcome back to another review. I am your Wednesday host, as always, and yeah, this is a part of the special theme week this month, which is Splater films, and I decided to go with a classic Italian horror film. Of course, Lucio Fulci's The House by the Cemetery. I believe this is 81. Because I believe this was made the same year, or within a couple months released from when The Beyond was. Of course, this is part of the Gates of Hell trilogy, and yeah, I'm pretty sure they all got released in like the same, like a year from each other, basically, or like in a year span. All three of them got released, so that's kind of strange. But yeah, basically, what you have in this film. You have this family who's moving into this really old, broken-down mansion, and prior to moving in there, their son Bob, which I will talk about later, he starts having these visions of, or not visions, I guess they are kind of visions of this little girl telling him, warning him to stay away from this house and to not go near there. And, you know, he's trying to persuade, Bob is trying to tell, you know, his parents that it's not safe to go there, but of course the parents aren't listening, because of course, so they go there, and I believe the dude's going there to do some, the father's going there to do some, like, research or something like that, so they're staying there, they're moving in there, but, yeah, well, once they get there, they start noticing things that are kind of strange around there. They start seeing like these gravestones right next to the house, and they all are part of this Freudstein family. They all have the same last name, and there's also like a tomb in the house itself. So there's a couple things off, and there's also this weird like babysitter who's doing this weird shit and just is really suspicious the entire film. And yeah, I can't really get into much else after that without spoiling what's, you know, going on. But of course, something goes wrong in the house. People start getting killed off and whatnot. So yeah, I'll leave the rest up to you guys. If you have not seen it, I will not spoil anything else or anything like that. But yeah, this is my, I think, second time watching this movie. You know, this movie has a, you know, great score to it. Definitely, you know, for I know reviewing Splater films, and, you know, this movie definitely has, a lot more going for it than just gore. I mean, there really isn't, like, a ton of gore in this movie. It's mainly towards, like, the end of the movie. It does throw a good bit of gore at you, and it does look really good and really gruesome. But yeah, this is a kind of a different type of film from the first two Gates of Hell movies. Those two are like more like straight up zombie films. This one kind of isn't. But it does kind of have the same like kind of supernatural tones that the first two do, so it does have that in common with them. But yeah, for those of you who have seen this movie, you know, I mentioned Bob earlier. For those of you who see, you know what I'm about to say, but if you haven't, yeah, the dubbing for this movie, especially for the character of Bob, is just atrocious. I mean, Bob, it makes him one of the most obnoxious, unbearable characters probably ever. I mean, it just doesn't sound natural. It just sounds just terrible and annoying, and yeah, it's just really, really bad. Actually, the rest of them are done really well. The little girl kind of has some weird dubbing, I think so too. But Bob, definitely by far the worst dubbing I've ever heard. He's just terrible. Plus, he's kind of an annoying character to begin with because he's just like this little kid, and he's just doing a bunch of dumb shit all the time. And yeah, it's just not my favorite character in the world, and by far the worst thing about this movie. Because yeah, this movie is fantastic. One of Lucio Fulci's best films. Like I mentioned, the score is great, and yeah, it just has a really, really cool story. I love the setting of the house. It's kind of like in the middle of the woods almost, and it has this really great setting, I think so. And yeah, there's just a lot of one thing I did see while I was watching this film this time. I did see a couple things that aren't fully explained in this movie, and there's a couple like really goofy scenes, almost like mistakes. Well, definitely a mistake in the movie, I think. Towards like the middle of it, but there's just a lot of things in this movie that aren't explained, like the babysitter, like she's acting like really weird, and obviously she knows something about the house, and they really don't explain why. They don't really explain why Bob is having these visions of this girl, and also like if the girl is a ghost, or it's implied that she's a ghost, I think so, but they don't actually come out and explain that. And the ending also can be kind of like what happened at the end. I won't spoil any of that, of course, but it's a lot of things in this movie I caught this time that I was just like, I don't quite understand, and like from what I could tell, they just don't explain. There is one pretty noticeable mistake I caught in the film. Like I said, that's just really once you see it, it's just like once you notice it, it's yeah, it's quite hilarious actually. But yeah, other than that, like I said, there are a couple confusing aspects of this film, and Bob's character, along with enhanced by his terrible dubbing, is just really annoying. But the rest of the characters are really do a good job, and this movie does have a really cool atmosphere to it, like the other two Gates of Hell movies do. And the effects are great, the score is great, the setting's great. So all in all, this still is a great movie. Definitely a kind of a flawed movie, but I still love it for its atmosphere and the setting and the effects and everything. So I'd probably give this a 9 out of 10, honestly. One of my favorite Fulci films, I think so. And yeah, if you guys have not checked this out yet, definitely do so. So yes, that is going to do it for this review. Make sure you guys stay tuned for the rest of the Austin reviews for the week, and I'll catch you guys next time. Peace.